with air. It's an amazing cave. And so you can kind of, as I go forward, you can kind of, this is a picture from last year. This slope right here we removed last year. So to do that, one of the things we did, we had a problem where the cave had an 8-inch slot going back into the cave. It restricted who could go in the cave to help us. So Dave Springhetti and some folks carried a really heavy generator 1.5 miles out there using a ladder, and they started chiseling off the wall, and now it's 18 by 28. Yeah. So there's no more like terrible crawl. Yeah, there's no more terrible crawl, and it's much easier to get fill out. And it took almost the whole summer to get this done, and then we started digging down. So now we have. So now this is what the previous picture was. So this piece right here is gone also. So we have this there's this ladder. This is why we're putting the metal ladder in there. And so you go into the cave and you get on this thing, and there's this big room of Redmond. It's a 15 by 20 room, and then you just kind of start digging down, but it's difficult because there's air coming up to the entire floor. So there's no point where we know it's the right spot. So we just picked a spot and started digging down, but it's unknown where the right area is to dig down. I'm hoping it's a big fissure that we're going to run into. So if you guys want to help in North Cave, we actually have a really good plan for the summer. What we're going to do is every week we're going to have a calendar on our website, and every week there will be a person assigned as the trip leader for that week. And so anyone who wants to come caving in North Cave and help and even carry a handful of rat midden out for us, we would love to have you come do it. We'll set you up with a respirator because the dust from the rat feces is not great to breathe. But anyway, so it'll be organized every week, and you can go anytime. If you're just coming to the Black Hills, you want to go see it, someone will take you there. And then in the fall, an undetermined date is what we call Big Dog Weekend, where we're going to camp out there. We'll have a keg, and we'll have a big effort to move stuff out of there. You know, last year, we were using like these Army duffel bags. I think we moved like 40 Army duffel bags of rat midden out, which could have been more. So this year we're hoping for more. I mean, any trip you get in though, so you could be on the trip that gets in the cave, and you can go scooping through a borehole. We don't care. If you get in and you run down the borehole, that's great. We'll map it. We'll come back to it. All right. So Adventures in Jewel Cave. Jewel Cave. Most of you already know I'm a big Jewel Cave person, and so Jewel Cave in the last, I don't know, since 2014 has had a huge breakthrough, and it's increasing in size dramatically every year. And so this is a fun run through. So this is the cave pre-2014. This was fun in 2014. Then next year. And then this one is known as a bit of a. And then so it's supported by 2 camps. West Camp is approximately 4 hours from the entrance, and Deep Camp is about 9 hours from the entrance, even though some teams can get there really fast if they're really trying hard. And then out here, I think it's going to give me a circle, is the burr hole. And so this used to be the western edge of the cave, and West Camp is kind of in existence to push this edge. There aren't very many trips there because the burr hole is pretty gnarly. But we go like once a year and try to work on this edge right here because there's a ton of air coming through here. It's obviously not connected to the rest of the cave. So this is from since the last AGM meeting what was mapped. You know, and this was just mapped right here about 3 weeks ago. You know, so this passage is 40 by 30 feet. So it's a pretty exciting time to be part of the Jewel Cave program. And we're looking for people to come map. You have to go to camp though, which is pretty far. All right. So this is West Camp. So like I said, 4 hours from the entrance. You get to this place, and it comes. The sleeping bags all stay there in the camp, and the alcohol stoves all stay there in the camp, and the fire extinguisher stays in the camp. The park makes us have that. We don't want it. And so you said that these are 4-day trips, by the way. And so then Deep Camp is way nicer and more plush. It has these big fluffy pillows that stay there at camp. And like I said, this camp right here is set up 2 minutes from the first known lake. So the water source is the lake, and we're pumping it out of there with pumps. And then all over the cave, there are these water collectors. So this one comes from one drip into a tarp into this thing, and that's what we use to get to the cave. And those are set up throughout the cave. On our last trip, we carried supplies out to put one at the very end of the cave. So we're going to continue improving the infrastructure to make things easier, make things faster. Because when you're going to the cave for 4 hours and you're carrying 3 liters of water in your side pack, it's not very good, and you don't want to do that at all. All right. In-cave travel. So in-cave travel, you guys may have heard, it's pretty sporty. We don't use a lot of ropes, and there are some tight spots. This is Derek Bristol going through the Noble Cause, which is the tightest spot, I think, going to the west. There's Ben Smith from Colorado. He's the most optimistic person ever, but this is a terrible crawlway that he's laying in. All right, and so I put this in here to tell this fun story. This place is called Delirium. And a lot of jewel cave travel is kind of like this. So this is actually the next picture is looking the opposite direction. But so this ledge is the travel route right here. And you're over this pit, which is like 35 feet long. And so then you end up walking across this thing to get to the leads, which are over there. And on this trip, we actually ended up dropping Ben Smith's camp pack down this big pit. And it took a while to get back. But there's a lot of stuff like that. It's like, it seems super scary the first time you do it. And then after that, it's kind of like, well, okay, that's what we do. That's what we're doing. All right, and so a lot of the travel, there's a lot of big stems and over pits. This is a place called What Lies Beneath, I believe. And so right here, this is 80 feet deep right here. This thing. It's very physical, and you're moving through the cave pretty quickly. And there's also, like I said, interdispersed crawlways. I have no idea where this is in the cave. I just like this picture a lot. And it's hard on your gear. These days we all wear shorts and tights. This is an older picture, but your gear has to be bomb-proof. Oh. Anyway, so like I said, we don't use very much we almost no SRT. There's one SRT pit in the entire cave. And a lot of it is hand lines like this. This is a watch your step pit, I think. There's a lot of hand lines throughout the cave. There's some ladders on the main tour route, the main travel route, but a lot of times you end up stemming around them anyway because it's easier. This is the sole SRT place on the way into the cave. It's called the Void. Since this picture was taken, this was replaced with a rope pad, but it's a 40-foot pit, and it's the only place we use vertical exploration right now. All right, so there's also pretty things. It isn't just crawlways and climbs. There's frostwork. This is on the way to Deep Camp. If you stop off, there's a bunch of aragonite trees. This is New Year's Lake, where if you guys have heard that we took a boat across the lake. This is the lake we did it in. This lake, since this picture was taken, has risen 28 feet. So you actually can't get to this rock anymore. It's underwater. But it's really pretty. It goes, I think, 130 feet across now that we crossed it to here and then got up on this ledge right here. There's really pretty places in the cave. And then of course, there's Borehole. This is Katie Bender. On her first camp trip, we met this big passageway, and it was a walking passage that was like 1,200 feet long in one day. And so that was her first lead the cave gave her. It was pretty exciting. This is Renee and Northwest Passage. And this is from our last trip. This is part of Old Dominion. And this is that rope drop again. Anyway, so Jewel Cave, I guess the point of this is that the cave, there are so many leads. There are thousands of leads. And there are very few of us trying to map it. So the opportunity, if anybody wants to go there, is very high right now. We have a really good team. Renee's here. She's one of the best trip leaders. So you can talk to her or me. No, don't talk to Renee. Okay. But there's leads everywhere. And then lastly, I just want to talk about the Jewel Cave 200th mile celebration. We passed 200 miles last year. Everyone's really excited about it. And we're having a 3-day long celebration, June 29th or 28th or 30th in the Black Hills. So if you want to register for that, you can go on the Black Hills Parks and Forests website. Is the easiest way to do that. And there's going to be speakers. There's going to be a big party one night with a band. There's going to be Speedway Olympics, so it'll be a fun time. All right, and like I said, we're looking for new people. This is my daughter. I had to put a picture of her caving, which is very exciting. And like so, since our last meeting, Nick and Fang and Brad, none of these people were in our grotto at all before the meeting last year here. And so they're all new members. We're getting a lot of new members, and we want more. So yeah, anyway. And so that is it from me, unless you guys have any questions. All right.